In this part of the video, we will see what type of variables we see and analyze in science. So in science, there are three types of variables: the independent variable or the manipulated variable. And the way that we identify the independent variable is by asking the question, what are you changing? So the manipulated variable, or the quantity that we are manipulating, is found, or the independent variable, this is the same thing, is founded by asking the question, what are you changing in an experiment? So that quantity, that physical quantity, or that variable will be the independent variable or manipulated variable. This is the very first type. And in an experiment, you have only one independent variable. A good experiment cannot have more than one independent variable. The second type of variable that we use in science is one that is known as a dependent variable or responding variable. This variable is found by you asking the question, what are you measuring as a result of the change? So that variable, or that quantity that you are changing, that you are measuring as a result of the change, that will be the responding variable or dependent variable. Both terms are used. So this and this is the same thing. Even the dependent variable or responding variable, in one experiment you have only one. So for independent variable and dependent variable, or manipulated variable and the responding variable, you have only one for each of those type of variables. And the third type of variables that we see and use in science is that is known as the controlled variables. So those are variables that are kept, or physical quantities that are kept constant through the experiment. So controlled variable. Sometimes they are used as a constants that during the experiment. In everything else beside the independent variable and dependent variable will be under the constants or controlled variable. So, and you can have more than one controlled variable. Okay, so let's suppose that we have an experiment done, or a study that you are doing, when you are finding if different tire threads affect the braking distance of a car, or what is the effect that tire threads have in the braking distance of the car. So in this experiment, what you are changing is the type of tires. Okay, so tire traits, independent variable, will be tire traits. What you are measuring when you're changing the tires is the distance that the braking distance that the car is obtaining. Okay, so that will be the dependent variable, braking distance. And everything else will be in constant or controlled variable. And in our case, will be, let's suppose, the type of car. So you cannot have different type of cars measuring the braking distance when you are changing the tires as well. Type of car. Another thing, maybe the uh, the state in which the road place that is this experiment is taking place, where the experiment is taking. Okay, so this is those are the three types of variables so that we discuss in science. And always, if you keep this as the manipulated variable, will be what are you changing? Are you changing? What are you measuring as a result of this change? And you should have one answer for those two. One answer for independent, one answer for dependent. A good experiment in science cannot have more than one independent variable and more than one dependent variable. Okay, you can design a different experiment in which you are changing that variable, but not to have two things that you are changing and more than one thing that you are measuring. So two things or two things there. No. Okay, so those are the types of variables that we discuss in science, and you will see more examples and practices on the D12.